Hello everyone, this is Manoj and welcome back to the ReactJS series. In this tutorial, we will learn about pure components in React.js. So what is a pure component? Basically, pure components are those components whose performance are optimized. In other words, a pure component implements the should component update lifecycle method, which is a shallow comparison between props and state. On the other hand, a regular component does not implement this lifecycle method and it always returns true. Remember that should component update method is an updating lifecycle method which determines if a component should re-render or not. Now, a regular component always re-renders, but a pure component does a shallow comparison to see if it is going to re-render or not. All right. Again, a pure component does the shallow comparison of previous state with current state and the previous props with current prop, and it will only re-render if the comparison indicates any difference. So let's quickly see an example. First, go to our console. In the console, where X, A, B, and C, A, B, C, let me copy this. So I have declared a single variable which is X having a array ABC. Let me also create the same array with the same element, same length called Y. Now let's create another variable called Z and assign it to equal X. So we have three arrays X, Y, and Z. This is also an array because this references to our X array. Now if I check where X equals Y, and if I say X equal Y, and if you see X equals Y, which is false. Why? Because even though both are having the same element, same length, but they don't point to the same object. And if I simply type X equal Z, so you see this returns true. The reason is they both reference the same object. All right. So this is how this shallow comparison works at the background. Now let's see an example with an actual implementation of pure component. Go back to Visual Studio Code. In this component folder, let's create a new file, pure component demo.js. So this class will act as a parent component. So simply create a class component because this pure component is a part of our lifecycle method. So we'll use should component update. So we have to create a class component. Also component from React and export class pure component extends component, and let's create a constructor first, and inside this pass the super method, also the props, and declare one state. So this dot state is equal to, let's say I'm giving a property as name manojdeshwal, and after that let's create our component did mount method, and here we'll use set interval method, and we will give a simple interval of 2 seconds. And here let's change this dot set state and change the name as same, which is our initial state, so Manoj Deshwal. And after that simply render. Inside this render, the first statement, let's log this, so console dot log, this is pure component demo, and after that return. Div. Let's say this is the parent component. Save. Now again in this component folder we will create a normal component and the pure component. So let's create the first new normal, let's say comp, import React from React, and component class, export class normal comp extends component, and inside this let's render, return. This is normal component, and inside this we will pass our name. So this dot props dot name. So we'll pass the name from parent component, which is pure component demo, and also console this console dot log. This is normal component. All right, save. And again in this component, let's create a pure component. So pure comp.js, and let's copy this code from here, and instead of this component let's use pure component class and use it. Instead of this component we'll use this pure component. So this pure component will extend the properties from pure component class, and change the text. This is a pure component, this is a pure component, and this dot props dot name. All right, so now we have a pure component which is extending this pure component class. We have a normal component which is extending properties from this component class, and we have a parent component. And here let's import both the components. So import normal component from normal component, and import pure component from pure component. And now in this return we will pass both the components. So after this h1, let's use normal component and pass the prop, which is name, this dot state dot name. And now pure component name this dot state dot name. Save. Now go to our app.js. So let's import our parent component, which is pure component demo, and use this. Save. Now I forgot to give an interval. So here let's say give interval of 5 seconds. So save. Go back to browser. So you see we have all three components JSX. Now let's open the console. Let me refresh this. If you see the console, at first all the three components are rendered. However, in the subsequent rendering, only the pure component is not rendered. And that is because the pure component compares the previous prop with the current prop, and there is no difference, so it does not re-rendered. And if you see down here, only the pure component, which is a parent, normal, all right. And this behavior is a big performance boost, especially for the large applications, all right. So this is all about pure components. We have taken example of class component. Same way we can use pure components in our functional component, but for that we have to use React Memo. So in the next video we will talk about how we can use the pure component concept in functional component using React Memo. All right, so I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.